I grew up sort of at the VA. It was like a home away from home for me, essentially. I got to know different residents. I got to know the staff really well. I'd take my dad out for walks. We'd go walk around the wheelchair, walk around the park and whatnot. I would even take some of my friends there, and it was just a big part of my life. Playing games with residents, spending time with residents, not just my dad, and that was a chance for me to not only learn about myself, but also a chance to mature. I remember there was this one time when I was little, my dad reacted at something. I drew a brain, like just a circle, and then I drew a brain with Alzheimer's, and the brain with Alzheimer's had scribbles all over it, and I showed it to my mom, and I'm like, Mom, this is the difference between a brain with Alzheimer's and a brain without Alzheimer's, and that was a good reminder for you too, right?
Yes. I worked really hard on trying to separate the Alzheimer's from his dad, because certainly that Alzheimer's disease brings out things in people that aren't really from the people. It's the disease that's affecting the brain. So I always wanted him to know, this is not your dad, this is the disease. So Gene's journey started when he was young, because his mom and his aunt both had early onset Alzheimer's. We married knowing that he had the potential of having early onset Alzheimer, the gene. Back then we didn't think that would really be a reality for us, because you never are thinking in the future. You're just thinking you're in love and you're gonna get married. And then we had Daniel. Gene started to have some different behaviors, and he started forgetting things. So then when Daniel was about 4, we brought him in for testing. At that point, they didn't know what it was that he had, and by the time he was 5, we did some more testing, and he was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's at that point. Throughout the first couple years, he was still able to live at home. He functioned fairly well, but he just slowly declined with the disease. And then by the time Daniel was in 2nd grade, we ended up having to move him into a nursing home. When Daniel was in 8th grade, that was when he passed, then on New Year's Eve.
He would always remember me. Like whenever I saw him, his face would just light up, and even in those last couple months, he would still remember, and it was one of the last things that went for him, and that was just something that brought me joy and him joy.
In your day, there will be a cure.
Right, and that's one of the most important things for me, that there will be a cure, and I know that there will be a cure, but in order to find a cure, people have to continue to give and continue to support Alzheimer's Association.